So how are you, Piotr?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm so happy to see you again. You know, this is the highlight of my week, as I said already before. I'm just waiting for our meeting. Judging from your judgmental look, you are ready to go through our collections.
I'm ready. And look, I have this scribble here. Do it. So I'm going to do it.
So let's do it.
I'm doing it with you.
Okay, let's do it. This week we have just 3 collections. We're supposed to get 4, but one of the designers didn't show up, which is obviously fine. It's okay. But it's even more okay if you just let us know that you are not coming, that you're not showing up, so we were not waiting for you. But just, you know, a friendly reminder in case like this happen in the future. It's always good to give us a shot that you are not coming.
But this again, it's a bit, it's something to be more careful about when it comes to the designers. It shows your professionality. It shows you're being on time. It shows you keeping up your word. So something people should be careful about. When I announce I'm going to put this out, it should be out. If I'm not sure I'm ready, I don't announce anything. So it's something that they should be a little more careful about, just on the side note. Mm-hmm. We're not naming anyone. We're not naming anyone here. And I don't think it's needed to name anyone here. But yes, I absolutely, I advise everyone to keep up to their appearances and to keep up to their words, because that's something, it's a part of the package actually.
Mm-hmm. So let's start with the CHATTY collection, which is the 15th anniversary collection of the Czech brand, run by 2 girls, by Radka Sýkorova and Jana Tušková. Do you want me to start? Shall I start? Do you want
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, absolutely.
I feel like traveling is a very good source of inspiration always. It usually works, but quite too often it ends up with, you know, with either folk look, which is way too much, or it's very easy to insult the culture that you are taking out from. This is not the case. This is a very interesting case of girls traveling not just to South America or Africa, but also going back to some religion rituals of rebirth and baptize, and taking away all the best you can to create totally new impression. And I have to say, I'm really impressed by this collection. Out of the 12 looks, there are 10 that I totally like. I like the selection of, what I like most are pure, perfect white dresses made of lace or the very fragile cotton. They look very nice, they are very light, great for a warm weather, summer, wherever you go. It could be, you might be staying in Prague, you might be staying in Bratislava, you might be going far, far down to the south. You're gonna always look great in a dress like this. I like these small details that are probably made out of leather, like collar details, with just a drop of brown, of this, what we say, the cognac brown, which is also very important because I like the selection of colors very much, but also how they describe colors. It's not just any kind of brown. We call it cognac brown, we call it magenta. We're using the ochre yellow, which tells you a lot about their attitude and their sensitivity to colors. What else do I like? And I'm really impressed are 2, the coat and the jacket, which are probably made out of linen or something more stiff generally. I think it's linen. In case of coat, I'm pretty sure that I see threads running in the middle of the sleeves, mm-hmm. which are exactly in line with the belt. This is precision, this is design, this is pure design, this is pure precision. This is something that I totally like. It's very, very, you know, second-rate detail. But when you notice that, then you realize this is somebody's work being put inside the whole concept. What I'm not really happy, and I feel like, I mean, let me phrase it. In every very good collection, there are always 1 or 2 weaker points. And there are 2 looks I don't really, one more thing I have to say, one more look I really like, the double bra top. And I like the headpieces. Those wraparounds, Very nice, isn't it? But what I don't really understand is this the striped dress with some applications at top that looks like a bikini bra. I think it's way too much and it's not necessary. It doesn't say anything, it doesn't add anything. And I don't understand where does this fringed skirt, white skirt come from? Because to me it looks like, you know, this type of fringe is like lampshade from a kind of bordello or the restaurant at the highway, something like that.
Yeah.
So these are just 2 weak points out of very nice, very well done collection of really experienced designers. I mean, what is really nice about them? In the press release, they're mentioning 2 colleagues that cooperated. Milena Żurabiova, who is a stylist and also a part of the designer team, and Marta Babkova, whose brand Margos is supporting them and is responsible for accessories, which is great. It's just like you get this feeling also this is the girls co-op. We do support each other. This is the girl power, what we really need, and we always should support something like that. So in general, CHATTY, very well done, very nice spring-summer collection, in my opinion. What do you think, Eva?
Well, first of all, the CHATTY is also a fixture on the scene for some time, has been, as you said, experienced designers, no newcomers. What I always appreciate about this brand is the brand name itself. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it could be interpreted in 2 ways. When you read it in kind of a francophone manner, when you read it out in a francophone manner, everyone who speaks French knows that starting with CNH, it reads sh in many cases. So it's CHATTY with a double 2, which means a dress in our language, in Czech and Slovak. And when you read it in an Anglophone manner, it reads chatty, which means playful, chatty, you know. So this is something which I always appreciate about the brand, that you can actually interpret it in 2 ways. With this collection, strong points, you said, all of them I agree. Again, something we've seen before. This is nothing new, right? Especially with the dresses, with this leather detail colors, as you said. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the newest Max Mara collection that's in stores now, especially their line Sport Max. Very similar. There's exactly these long dresses. They're done in a bit of a different colorway. Max Maras or Sport Maxes are in a dark blue, midnight blue, but again with these cognac leather detail pieces. Not sure if that's a coincidence or not, but as I said, it's very hard to do something new these days. With me, also a very nice collection. And now we come to this. We've seen this before, even in the reviews that we've done already. This is our fifth or sixth? Fifth. And we've seen this before in many other variations. Like we've seen this before as well in the other collections we've reviewed before. But somehow this collection, although it's a variation on a topic we've seen so many times, it doesn't bother me. It's very nicely put together. It's very compact. There's a few pieces I would take out. These torsoid asymmetrical skirts with this kind of unidentifiable, what is it, brown, raspberryish kind of with the stripes. This is something I understand that they wanted to add to the exotic vibe of the collection, and this is something that has had a place for them there, but it bothered me a bit. But otherwise, very nice collection. I love that the hat details as well. What I really loved about it, though, besides the tailoring, which you can see that it's no amateur stuff. You know, when you buy that dress, it will fit you nicely, and exactly as you say, you can wear it to Saint-Tropez, you can wear it to, Saint-Tropez is out a bit now, but you can wear it to Croatia, let's say, okay? So you can wear it to the hotspots of du jour, and you can wear it to Prague for a nice lunch or a dinner, and you can wear it to Warsaw, to the nicest restaurant, and you'll still be fine and you'll be okay. But which really I loved about the collection is this unification element you said, because world is so fragmented these days, and people take unification as something we should all look the same. This is a wrong way to go about it. This is not what unification is about. I love that they connect two cultures, like the Brazilian culture, which is so different from European culture, and they take Christianity, the baptism. So they take two elements of two different, let's say, perceived cultures together, and they put it in this nice, lovely, peaceful, aesthetic way. I love this about the idea. Really got me, and I felt so comfortable and at peace with it, and it made me buy the dress. So yeah, for me, this was one of the strongest points.
Mm-hmm. Can I just add one more thing about the presentation? Because when I saw the movie, the opening of the movie, I told myself again, oh, shit is gonna be like Dead Man Walking in the prison cell, because the space is so limited, so she's gonna walk around, it's gonna be boring. It's absolutely not, because they did select the best lighting possible. The lighting builds the atmosphere perfectly. You never get bored. Even if the models are walking around the circle or the square, you still have this feeling like they are walking somewhere far away from here in the very sunny place. The lighting that imitates the sun, like the very, very strong sun rays, is absolutely fabulous. It's a pleasure to watch the show done, with limited tools. They create a kind of stunning show.
The lookbook as well. The pictures were taken next to a set of plain, very minimalistic, sharp white stairs and wall. And just a note for all of you who are doing your lookbooks at cash only or something that looks like that with the chair. You see the trick when you switch the chair for a pair or a really simple staircase and white wall. That's all you need. It looks different, it looks sharp, it looks clean, it looks purist, it looks minimalistic, and it takes the best out of the clothes. So the clothes are the stars, not the chair. So this is absolutely my sentiment.
Okay, so let's move to NAUT. NAUT. How do you say the name? The NAUT.
I would think they would like us to say NAUT.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's probably an extract of one of the surnames, Nguyen. He's one of the designers.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the designers. But to me, NAUT is something nautical, something, I don't know, it always evoked something NAUT. Also nature, but something nautical. I don't know. Maybe I'm off here. Maybe I'm wrong. But I would probably pronounce it NAUT.
Well, to me, this is a very my first impression, and I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna fight for it. It's Transformers. This is a Transformers collection. I know the guys have started in 2016 with the accessories line, and they are step by step expanding. And this is a very good way to build your, let's say, style based on the original concept. So the accessories were modular, were for modern travelers, and the pret-a-porter line, the clothes look like very much the concept. They like following the general idea that they come with from. The collection is total in black. It's just pure black, which I know the black doesn't have the same reputation as white, but to me it's equally complex color. So you have two extremes, like it could be a dull black and it could be dramatic black, and there is plenty of option in between, right?
Daughter, black is the most complex color of all colors.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It's exactly as complex as white, isn't it? In terms of shades, in terms of
absolutely. Mm-hmm. And actually, if I may add, we've seen the complexity of white color in the collection we just reviewed in the CHATTY. Yes. How complex it is and how you can play around it, not making it fuzzy and making it unfuzzy, and still have some elements of other colors and still making a white impression, So yes, this is actually the version of it in black. Mm-hmm. In a different context, but I get your point.
Mm-hmm. So I like the use of black. I like that both Lucas and Philip, they achieved this very strong, very structured looks, very warrior look from when you see it from the distance.
Almost samurai.
Exactly.
You know, samurai, and they were quoting this Asian Vietnamese heritage in the press release as well, and it's living up to the words. You can sense that there, absolutely.
I really like that Philip is using his Vietnamese roots in this collection to deliver something new. What I really love is the close-up, because then you can see there also within this black, because black could be really flat. You might be very comfortable with the flat black, but they're having a lot of details there, including this very nice back of one of the coats, which is with some very originally laid threads. I like it. I like this one. I like how they use the logo, how they play with the logo, black and black, with let's say with the matte black, and then with something more flashy, something which is more grabbing attention.
Because it was only done with the structure of itself. So the structure of the material, I think you mean the logo NAUT coming out of the leather jacket. That's something I've really loved as well. So it's not in your face, it's not screaming, but you can still see it. And it's just playing with the dimension, with the depth of the leather. So they pressed it in, and that's how they created the structure.
What I also like, sometimes the looks are a bit too strong to me, a bit more too aggressive. But I guess the point that what they wanted to achieve is a kind of a shield, like really a warrior, or something like a kind of close star protecting you. And then they succeeded, absolutely. So again, thumbs up from me. Also some extra points for excellent casting, because we have really great looking models. And when I say great looking models, I don't mean like, banal beauty. They do represent contemporary, really striking type of beauty that you get obsessed and you watch over and over again, and like to see more people like that. So now, absolutely well done. One thing I would like you to play a bit more, because I have realized it wouldn't be me if I didn't go to the web store. They have the online store, and I see they are already having the belt called Cobra in very nice orange. So I feel like sometimes adding just a drop of this orange, of this very aggressive acid orange, would lighten up the total look. Maybe this is the next thing you can do, because total black is fine with me, absolutely. But just a drop of orange could make it look more contemporary, more sporty, more light. But above this, all the rest, well done. I like Transformers.
You like the Transformers, I like the Asian warriors. I'm a big fan of samurais. I've read so many books on samurais. To me, they're absolutely fascinating culture. I'm not saying that this is about samurais, because it's nowhere in the press release, but that's the feeling I got about it. And I hate the titles of urban warrior. It's something that our magazine articles read a lot, because it's a cool but it's so overdone. I mean, but I will use it now. It's something, as you said, the collection reminds me of wardrobe of an urban warrior of the age we live in. So you need to shield yourself from the reality, from the elements, and also from the ever-invading energy of invading our private spaces. So you want to be all in black, and you want to have this armor on yourself. It's something I feel the same as you. And I love that. I will probably talk more about the ready-to-wear than the accessories. It's probably because I'm not a client of these. I wear other types of bags, even the practical bags I wear is from different concepts. So I'm not really their target client, but I see a lot of functionality. I see a lot of thought that went to producing these backpacks and everything. They can be multifunctional. I'm not saying anything new. They have a clientele already that is regular and buys these things. But what I would love to talk about a bit is the ready-to-wear. To me, very uneasy, uncomplicated, very comprehensible. I will just say it like this, comprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they say this is who we are and they live up to it. So it's a lot of references to their roots, to what they are familiar with, to what they know so well. Very nice work with proportion and very nice work with black silhouettes. As you said, people may think that if you make a black collection or black garments, it's so easy because black hides so much. And that's true to an extent, but it also reveals a lot. If you do shabby tailoring, nothing reveals the shabby tailoring as much as black. Absolutely. This is a very huge paradox, but this is true. So you really need to have flawless tailoring to create a flawless black look. And if a black look is flawless, it's beyond anything. It's the perfection of all perfections. In my philosophy anyhow, and maybe my personal philosophy, but I'm pretty sure that many, including Rick Owens now, if he heard me, he would raise his hand and agree. And with them, not much more to say because you hit all the right points. To me, I loved the leather pieces, the vest and the jacket. It's something we've seen so many times before. It's one of the biggest icons of fashion in general, the leather jacket, right. The leather vest. So 80s, so motorbike style. So nothing new, but somehow I loved the way they did the jackets because the cut looks very nice. The bit raised arms, if you notice, they're a bit on the vests, especially they're a bit raised. They left them unfinished in a manner that they make them stand out, but still not really too much. So with the logo that is there, but is not there, done with the structure of pressing the NAUT logo. For me, black vision done in a very easy way. And a lot of potential of building a clientele that would go there repeatedly for these kinds of pieces. So guys are doing it well, and I liked it as well.
And as we said already before, that we are in this state of the game, in the state of life changes, of the process of changing, that we should be ready to move on. And this is the collection that makes you ready to move on, to go on into the future. It's not very strongly rooted in the past. There is something futuristic about a look that I really like as well. And of course, we should mention this idea of using zippers, because zippers are a very nice detail, but it's a very modernist detail. It's not just added for some attraction, just part of the concept, right? That you zip in, zip out, and you get sleeves off, or you can have them back with using just a zipper. So I like this concept. Very, very nice.
That's something we've discussed with Fryer, if you remember, the functionality. So the versatility, the versatile side of the clothes is something we really need to focus on, because that's the urban warrior as well. People of our times don't have much time, let's just say it, okay? So we're always in a rush. We need to have two outfits in one. So you go in one in the morning to work, and then you need something to continue to the evening. So this is something to consider as well. Designers that think about the clothes in terms of functionality have big plus. This is absolutely a big plus. And this is what we noticed about Fryer, and you just noticed about NAUT. The zipper actually has its function there. It's not there just to be there.
Okay, so number 3 this week. This is really interesting and tough topic, because it's UTB, which is a university collection of students. I've been thinking about it for a while, because, you know, these are students. It's really easy to hurt students' feelings, right? But what I love, first of all, the decision that they want to participate in anything like that, in confrontation with opinion, because This is the part of the future. Wherever you do, whenever you are creative, you always have to be ready to be judged by the other people. This is the part of your lifestyle. This is part of your job. So the sooner you start, the better you get. You probably never get over it because it's not the way. It's not possible. But the sooner you start, the more, let's say, prepared you are, the more ready you are to face the
resistant. It builds your resistance. It builds your preparation to be prepared for the critique as well, for the praise and for the critique, because let's just say there'll be 50-50 of both.
So
always.
This is a very smart, very brave decision to start as soon as possible. And I feel like the students are kind of ready. Whatever, all we have already said about, using just one color, which makes instantly focus on shape and cut and all the details that are really the most important part of the designer process. This is what's happening in this collection. These guys are doing something, playing mostly with the shape. I'm not sure if you remember, I guess you do, one of the last shows at my favorite museum of fashion, which is the one Momo in Antwerp, before they shut down for renovation. It was the Game Changers, about all these designers who created new looks by playing with the shape, because this is what makes fashion go forward. This is what we're not looking for new garments, right? We're not looking for new trousers, or because we don't need anything like that. What we need is new shape that will tell us, okay, this is the shape of 20s in the 21st century, right? So guys are already working on something, and some of the results are really, there's nothing really to be ashamed of. There's no mistake in this whole collection. But just trying, you see that as many students are participating, there are as many ways to reinterpret the general idea. I like my two favorite looks are the constant circle, which I think is a very nice idea, and I like the trousers that looks like the man's shirt, the striped shirt, put upside down and worn like trousers. So I already feel like we already have some commercial potential as well. What I also what I'm missing here in this collection is generally because it's a Tomáš Bata University. Tomáš Bata stands for shoes. It's like, I don't know, Fratelli Rossetti of Czech Republic, or just name any of the shoe designers from the other parts of the world. This is Tomáš Bata. At this university, there is also the shoe design department. They should collaborate. I would like to see the collection, which is a part of the collaboration between fashion designers and shoe designers. But in general, very impressive. I'm really happy that Zlíně University is participating in that. Cross my fingers for students. I'm looking forward. I know that one of the how is it called? Úspěšní absolventi, Jan Černý, the guy who reviewed a few weeks ago. It was a very first hour of review, which is also a very good sign for guys. So yeah, I'm very happy that I discovered the Tomáš Bata University and the fashion department. What do you think?
Well, for me, and I'm known for this, I always am the most excited about these students, always. Whether it's the Tomáš Bata University or is the Atelier of Libiana Rochova, which we mentioned before from Prague, for me, always delight. And I wrote this many times, very openly and honestly. Some of the designers that are on the scene for some time, they should take a note from the students, because these students are creative students. They are people who think about fashion. They read about fashion. They dig deep. They really go after nuances. They go after points that are not cited so much, and they transform them into their own worlds, their own fantasy worlds, their own vision of shape, proportion, fashion, materials, everything you talked about just a few minutes ago. Always a highlight for me, always. It never disappointed me. I've seen all these shows live, the ones that took places last year and the year before, and I was just, I mean, we were sitting there, for example, for a show of a designer that is on the scene for some time, and we were just sitting there and yawning, all of us, yawning. In, you know, some were really yawning, some were yawning metaphorically. And then the next day, these students opened the show with Sharoney's Human Nature, if you know that song. And it just, I mean, it was energy. It was there. Maybe the clothes were not done perfectly because honestly, they're limited by many things. You know, there's not much money or finances to do the collections. They really need to go, you know, they really need to improvise a lot around it many times. But it had this energy, and everybody was just wide awake, and it had exactly what fashion should have: emotion, energy, and it made you think about it. And this is what always happens with these students and me. I am the biggest fan of students of these ateliers, Zlín and the atelier of Libiana Rochova, and many successful names come out of it. Now, what happens these days in fashion, and we need to say it here because this is the time to say it, many of the designers these days don't have any designer education.
Right.
They are fans of fashion. Some of them are stylists, and we've said this before, stylists are so important for fashion, but they're not designers. These are two different categories, you know. They complement each other, but the stylist and the designer are two different worlds, okay? And so there's...
Some of them are virtues, and, you know...
Absolutely. Two virtues that need each other, and they're equally important, but they're different. And so, but there's many fans of fashion that have no art education, they have no fashion education, no craft education, and they start doing it because they're influencers and they buy it so they think they can make it, and that's a huge mistake. And you can see that always. It always screams, this is done by someone who is not from the field, you know, who's not trained professionally. And so this is many times these people that have collections, they have money to produce them, they have all the support, they're really popular, and they produce a collection, but it lacks everything. And then these students come there and they make the collection and they hit the nail on the head, you know. And so with Zlín, it's a pity we didn't see it live, because this is what they can do. And this is, I feel sorry that you didn't see it before live, that you only had these materials and the short video and the press release, because the live shows is half of their success. It brings the energy to the viewer, and the way they choose the music and everything, the styling is so, it really makes the show. So this is kind of a poor version of it this time, but all of the shows we've reviewed, I mean, show is a show, you know. This is not like, how can I say this? Sme ochudobnení, I will say it in Slovakian, and you probably understood me now. This is a poor experience. It could have been so much richer, but it's the way it is. We cannot do nothing about it. But even from this, you can feel they took up many important points in fashion, not just in fashion, but in the production of fashion. It's the pleats. One of the most basic things that designers worked for ages are pleats. The white shirt, never-ending topic, white shirt. Then the arc on white shirt. So the square pattern, the square dimension. And then the circle, the never-ending circle we talked about. I said, and I will again say it, Zoltán thought that his last collection was all done around the circle. The circle cut, and doing another volumes and shapes with the circle cut itself. So they are referencing it and citing it. I'm not saying they're not referencing Zoltán, but they played around the same topic as well. Also the black, as you said, the black clothing, and my favorite is the chemise de reine, the nightgown of the French. They're citing the Marie Antoinette and the robe à la française and all that. What was happening, very groundbreaking for those times, because not many people know that Marie Antoinette herself was a big groundbreaker. She was a visionary, you know. She went from the really opulent, overdone clothes to this white, plain, almost too folk, you know, silhouette. Mm-hmm. And so they were playing around it as well there. Very nice video done around it with emotion. Nothing groundbreaking, but it had the point, you know. So a bit of a decadence in the minimalism, but done in a minimalistic way again. Mm-hmm. Because there's not much complicated stuff around the chemise. Mm-hmm. So, you know, to me, again, students are my love. I really love them. I love their creativity. I love their vision. I love how they really want to be different, but in this academic way. They really study it. They really go into depth, you know, and you can see and you can tell. And some of them really do it and they are successful. And it's probably partially caused by the academic side of it, I must say, because this is very important.
Mm-hmm. So I have to, I guess we own the credits, right? We should mention names. Krystyna Petličková, who is the head of the department, the Hodnotí ateliéru, first of all, and then all the names of the students. Maciej Hlawacz, Hanna Prokopová, Erika Majdiszová, Ondřej Petr, Zofia Saldanowa, Dominika Wespalcowa, Adela Szwachilkowa, and Martin Humpolak. Congratulations, guys. Very well done. You made us happy. You made us happy. So you already have 2 of the critics on your side, which is a very good start of your career. So congratulations, and hope to see you hopefully in September on the catwalk. Because as you said, the catwalk really rules. You need a catwalk and you know how to do the catwalk. So I would like to see it on the catwalk.
Maybe not even a catwalk, yes, but I think this was also overdone a bit lately. It was too much show and too few clothes, you know. This is what I said. Fashion for the past few years was more about the show than the clothes, and this was a big pity. But when it first started, it was about the clothes. And the real interaction of the viewer with the way the fabric moves, with the way the colors behave in real or artificial light, with the music, with the vibe, with the atmosphere, with this energy this is the je ne sais quoi. It's just there because it's happening and everyone is contributing to it. The people that sit there and watch it, the people who create it, the people who play the music and, you know, coordinate the behind the scenes. Everything creates this unique atmosphere, and it doesn't necessarily need to be catwalk. It could be site-specific installation. It can be presentations. It can be just clothes in the, you know, so you can go around them and touch them. It can be anything, but the real experience is something which is irreplaceable. And this is what we've been missing in reviewing these collections. But which is very interesting, and I'm not sure if you noticed, this is also, though, a big opportunity to sense the personalities, because when you only have the lookbook, when you have only limited materials to work with and to review someone's work, this is what I say is also the je ne sais quoi, because from some of these things still the personality is so strongly present, and it's so interesting to feel how some are bigger personalities, right, more noteworthy, let's say, although it may sound very arrogant, but this is true. It's true. I mean, nothing to do about this. And some are less. So it's what I said.
Close the other, just creating the others are creating the total look and the concept, which is
absolutely, absolutely. You know, you have these designers that present the coolest stuff, and as I say, and I will repeat this again and again, they have all boxes checked, but there's nothing coming out of it. You have no emotion. You forget it the next day or the next minute. You review it. But then there's these people who present something and it stays with you and it lingers around. And, you know, you really actually remember these specific things, even a color or, you know, a hood and the names and the feeling you had from it. And it's coming from the personality of designer. That is, he's putting the personality there and you can sense it, even from the paper, even from the anonymous a screen of your computer and it stays with you. So, you know, on one side it's a pity, on the other it makes these little moments stand out, which are really important as well.
Mm-hmm. I hope that Zlín has already realized that the university is one of the really strong points of a city's identity right now, because it has, of course, very interesting Bata history and heritage. That's fantastic. It's very interesting in terms of architecture. But I believe that this school can already do to Zlín what the Antwerp Royal Academy of Arts did to Antwerp, for example, or what Central St. Martin's did to London. These are the part of the very strong identity of the city. So doing the show of the students might attract a lot of attention of the people who normally wouldn't come to Zlín, right? So I'm already hooked. I would like to go immediately. I just, viewed everything online. I feel like the university has a very interesting program, etc., etc. I like the looks of the what young designers are doing. This is something that there's a great opportunity for the city as well to use to promote itself.
Absolutely. And I also would like to stress here that even fashion industry should think about this more, because it really shows how the education is needed here. How really fashion cannot be done by amateurs or fans of fashion. We really need to go back to professionality, not in fashion, in anything. You should, I will say it very blatantly, but you should have a paper for it. You know, if you do something, you should have a paper for it. And it really shows the expertise. It shows the willingness to do more than just to copy something, it's a diametrically different work than just being enthusiastic about fashion and doing your own collection. There's so much more needed for it. Craft, knowledge, lots of books written, lots of movies seen, lots of places visited, lots of historical content and context. It's really needed. And so I'm a big fan of students and designers that come from academical background, huge fan. Go for it, do it this way. Yes, this is the way to go about it.
So, Eva, if you are so happy with this free collection, could it get any better next week, do you think? Do you know the lineup for next week? Could it be?
Yes, I do. And I'm really curious what you'll have to say. There's two very interesting points for next week. Besides everything, it will be interesting, but there is Marcel Holubec coming up. Marcel Holubec is like Boris Hanečka. They're the biggest names in Slovakian fashion, probably also Czechoslovakian, because, when they started, there was not much happening on the scene. So we can actually say they're Czechoslovakian. Marcel Holubec, King of Plissé. This is the nickname they use for him. And it's true. He's doing Plissé like no one else. So Marcel Holubec, who did a very impressive show, and I have no doubts that you will actually go and check it out. I was there myself, and this was something on a world level. I mean, the execution, the space, the collection itself. So I'm really curious what you'll have to say about it. Also, there's minuses as well, but there's lots of pluses there. And then a collection of one of the biggest Czechoslovakian top models, Michaela Kocianová. Not sure if you're familiar with the name, but she's honestly, there's also many models these days, but she's a top model. I mean, she was walking haute couture Chanel years ago. Haute couture Chanel, she was a face of Dior, Chanel, really top league. And she started to produce, this is her first collection of a very minimalistic clothes. You'll have a look, and I'm really curious what you'll have to say about that as well, because what really,
next week.
Yes, it's for me, it's very cool to hear a fresh look and outtake on these things, because obviously you are from a bit of a different region. You're in Poland, although you can be watching the Czechoslovakian,
so,
but you're not.
Poland has been moved to Nordic countries, or is it?
No. What I mean is, you're not here. You're not here. You don't know these people personally. You don't work with it. You don't buy it as a client. Well, Nové, yes, but you know what I mean? Like, for me, this is a very fresh look at our fashion, at Czechoslovakian fashion, by someone who's not living in Czechoslovakia or in Czech or Slovak Republic. And and it's very important.
Give me some time. Let them open borders, and I'm moving down.
And this, I know this because this is something you told me, and it would be very exciting if you did, and that would be another view as well. After you,
those strange things are happening in nemocnice na kraji mesta. Maybe you almost call Czech, but something has happened, or maybe I was Slovak. I don't know. But
what about Šiorišky pro popelku? If you tell me you haven't seen this, then I don't know.
Once again, say it again.
Šiorišky pro popelku?
Oh shit! I don't recognize this.
You said a bad word as well.
So I have to check up. Maybe I have seen. I've seen that, but maybe I don't.
Cinderella, the Czech Cinderella. You haven't seen that?
No.
That's something like Kritko, but that's something like Kritko. Okay, I will fill you in. Don't you worry. I will fill you in.
So I'm gonna use this week to work on my research to get ready for next meeting next week with you. So we are happy. We're living right now. Thank you, and see you next week, Eva.
See you. Have a lovely Sunday, Piotr.
Sure.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye.